right, kind of an exciting day here. Temperature is well above what it needs to be in order for me to come in and inspect the hive after some really cold weather. And today's going to be the first time I've really done an inspection after some snow and just some prolonged days where we've had freezing temperatures and things like that. So what day is it? It's February 18th today, and I just want to go in there. March is the month in Missouri where bees are most likely to starve. So I want to get in there and make sure that they have enough food. This is a new colony. We purchased this nuke last spring of 2022, so this is going to be their second spring coming up. I want to make sure that they're healthy, that they have plenty of food, so on and so forth. So let's get to it. So we can already tell that the bees are a little active today, and as I've explained in other videos, it's not uncommon to see bee carcasses in front of your hive, really in any part of the year, especially in the winter. What will typically happen is on a warmer day, you'll come out and you'll just see tons of bee carcasses in front of your hive, and you'll be worried because you'll think that, you know, something's wrong. But what bees will do is they'll leave their carcasses inside the hive if it's super cold outside. They don't want to, you know, they don't want to leave the warmth of the colony. And then when they experience some warm weather, there's a role that one of the bees, one of the particular roles that they have is undertaker. And so quite literally, this bee's job is to take all of the dead carcasses out. And when they experience warm weather, they'll do that. And then all of a sudden you'll see just lots of bee carcasses laying all over. So don't let that worry you. Okay, as I take this roof off of the flow hive here, you'll notice that I've packed it with insulation. And if you were watching one of our videos where I kind of talked about what I was doing to prepare the hive to winter it, that's one of the things I decided to do, is just pack the space between the roof and the hive with insulation just to help the bees out. Okay, so let's go ahead and start removing this top cover here. And just by doing that action there, I can hear the bees. It sounds like they're pretty close to the top of this here. Got lots of good looking sign here. We're gonna give this a shake. You know what, actually I'm gonna get my brush and brush these bees off. Okay, so I opened up the hive. I see that I have this pollen cake, winter pollen cake that I put in there earlier. They're doing fine. I am not going to do any more inspecting because the bees are actually pretty temperamental right now. And as you can tell, I don't have what I would usually have on. This is my second year of beekeeping, so I'm not totally comfortable without my full gear. I'm not even using smoke today. And really the bees, it seems like the ones that are really around me are not really trying to sting me. I had one sting my glove, which is not really an issue. But most of them are just trying to tell me, hey, this is our territory, or we don't really know what's going on. And of course, it's been a long time since I've visited the hive too, so just kind of new event for them. So instead of just doing a full inspection, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and close up the hive. I've seen everything I needed to see. I do need to do some cleanup, but I'm going to wait for a little bit of a warmer day, get in my full bee suit, and come in here and really just do some better cleanup, get a better eye on each frame and see what we need to do to prepare for this spring. But in terms of winter store, obviously they didn't touch that pollen cake very much. So obviously they had plenty of honey, which is great. So I'm going to close this up and get out of here and stop bothering them. Hey everybody. First of all, just super stoked. I mean, I'm really proud of myself because I made it through my first winter. I mean, we're not quite through winter yet, but we're through the harshest part of winter. And they say you're really a bee haver until you make it through your first winter, and then you're a beekeeper. You get like promoted. And I gotta tell you, it kind of feels like I have been promoted. It's a super accomplishing feeling. I can take this off now. But literally right before I started this video, I did get stung. Oh, just got stung. And one of the reasons why I want to make this video is to talk to y'all about that. So, I've been talking to beekeepers, and some of them much more experienced than I am. Well, everybody's more experienced than I am. I'm only in my first year. But a lot of them are saying like, hey, you don't have to use smoke, you know, get comfortable with your bees and things like that. It's kind of unnecessary after a while after you get comfortable with bees. And I tried that out today, and as soon as I opened that top cover, they were super, super temperamental with me. And all that to say, next time I go to my hive, I'm gonna be using smoke. That's what I'm comfortable with. I'm not quite there yet. And so just an encouragement to y'all, if you're thinking about getting into beekeeping, don't listen to more experienced beekeepers who beekeep and open up their hive without even a shirt on. There's just, for what? Why does that matter? So good for them. Hey, if you don't want to use smoke, if you want to beekeep with your shirt off, that's totally fine, but it's not for me. You know, that's not my comfort level. I really don't want to get stung on my face, and I really don't want to get stung on my hands. That's why I wear gloves and wear that veil over my face. And so don't feel intimidated. Don't feel like you're less than other beekeepers because your comfort level isn't like theirs. So what? I'm still getting honey, they're getting honey, same result, right? So anyways, just be at liberty to do that. The second thing I want to share with you is just a moment of transparency. I made a mistake winterizing my hive, and I'm not going to make the same mistake this year. It makes perfect sense. It's totally logical. I just didn't even think about it. Dogs are playing in the pond. But it's don't put liquid feed in your hive over the wintertime, especially if you're in a state where you have winters where, you know, the temperature freezes. And the reason is because you put liquid feed in there, it freezes, and then it becomes like this icebox environment in there. It makes it super difficult for the bees to regulate the temperature of their hive. So instead, just put sugar or put a winter pollen cake in there. They make pollen cakes that are specific for the winter time. So you got to be careful on that because there's like a spring pollen cake and there's a winter pollen cake. So either put one of those winter pollen cakes or put that sugar in there. But you know what was super encouraging to me is I opened up the top cover and not even half of that pollen cake that I put in there was gone, which tells me they had plenty of honey left over, plenty of store over the winter, which means I didn't harvest too much from my first year, which I'm super proud of that. So those are the two things. Number one, beekeep at your comfort level. Don't let other people pressure you into a bad experience because it could have been a bad experience. You know, right before I started this video, I did get stung. Had a bee get underneath my hoodie and he crawled up my back and stung my back. And I don't really mind stings. Like I said, I don't like to get stung on my face. I don't like to get stung on my hands, but my body, my legs, it doesn't really bother me. I hate the feeling of a bug like crawling on me more than I mind the actual sting. So all that to say, I went out there without smoke today. I did something that I'm probably uncomfortable with, won't do again. And And that's why the bees were super temperamental with me, which again, I broke into their house. You know, it's their house. I broke in. I would be super upset if somebody broke into my house too. So I can't really blame them. It's just their nature. So I hope that encourages you. If you're wanting to get into beekeeping, don't let it intimidate you, but do it at your comfort level. You know, maybe 5 years from now, I will just be wearing a t-shirt. Who knows? But for now, just stick it within the, stay within your comfort level, go from there, and don't let other people pressure you into a bad experience. So anyways, hey, I guess I'm an official beekeeper. Made it through my first winter. Super exciting stuff.